I have so much respect for people who are good at playing Tomodachi Life. Wanna be friends?
Hi everyone and welcome back to Lag&Lightning. Today I'm taking you on a little tour of my very first island in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. So before we actually start walking around, let me give you a quick look at the whole map and show you how I divided everything. There are a few residential islands, each with a slightly different kind of housing. In the middle there's a small island with the wishing fountain, which I decided to keep quite simple and separate from everything else. Then we have the main shopping area where most of the stores and businesses are located. And finally there's the entertainment island with the Ferris wheel, the restaurant, a little seaside promenade. So that's the general layout. Now let's actually go for a walk. We're starting in one of the residential areas. This is where I placed most of the larger houses, the homes for me's who live together, whether they're couples, married, or simply sharing a home with someone else. I wanted this part of the island to feel almost like a very quiet suburban neighborhood, but without actually making it look suburban in traditional sense. There are no roads here, no cars, no pedestrian crossings, and really not much infrastructure at all. Instead, I wanted everything to feel much more natural. There are little paths between the houses, trees everywhere, flowers, bushes, patches of grass, basically as much greenery as I could fit without making it impossible to actually walk around. And this is more or less the visual direction I chose for all of my residential areas. I wanted Big Cheese Island to feel like a place that exists somewhere outside a big city. From here we can cross over to another residential island. This one is mostly dedicated to smaller single-person houses. So this is basically my singles neighborhood. The houses are a little smaller, everything is slightly more compact, but I still kept the same natural style. Again, lots of flowers, trees, bushes, and irregular little paths. I deliberately avoided making everything perfectly symmetrical or overly planned because I actually like when these areas feel a little bit messy. And because there are no roads, I can really fill the space with greenery. There are little corners when you can sit, small paths between the houses, and patches of plants that don't really serve any practical purpose other than making the island feel softer and more lived in. That was definitely one of my main goals with this save. I wanted to feel cozy, but not necessarily in the very polished, picture-perfect way, more like a place where nature has been allowed to grow around everything. Now we're getting closer to the more developed part of the island. This is the main shopping street, and you can immediately see that the style changes a little bit here. This is where most of the shops are located, and we also have the TV tower here, so I wanted this area to feel slightly more urban and organized. There are still plenty of plants here, but the paths are much more defined. I used more brick and concrete textures, and the whole area has a clearer street-like layout. There's also this long central section running through the middle with flower beds, greenery, and water dispensers breaking up the space. I really like how this area turned out because it feels like the center of a very small town. It's definitely more commercial than the residential islands, but it still doesn't feel like a proper city. And I think that balance is what I was trying to achieve. I wanted the island to feel developed enough that it makes sense for people to live here and have everything they need, but still quiet enough so you could walk for 5 minutes and suddenly find yourself surrounded by trees again. And from the shopping area, we can easily walk across to probably my favorite part of the island, the entertainment district. This is where the Ferris wheel is, and this entire area is built around the idea of a little seaside promenade. There's a restaurant nearby, a small playground, the photo studio, and access to the largest beach around the island. The smaller residential islands have their own little pieces of coastline as well, but this is the main beach. This is where I wanted most of the outdoor social activities to happen. So there are plenty of places to sit, benches, swings, loungers, a campfire area on the beach, and different little spots where my Mies can spend time together. Now, when it comes to the actual creator tools in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, I'm still very much learning, especially when it comes to drawing my own custom elements. I've seen some absolutely incredible creations from other players, entire buildings, incredibly detailed paths, decorations, signs, and then I open the editor and stare at the blank canvas for 5 minutes. So we're getting there, slowly. I've started experimenting with a few smaller things. I made some insect houses, beehives, a few different pad designs, flower beds, stone paths, and those little round bushes you can see around the island. Nothing particularly complicated yet, but I'm gradually getting more comfortable with how the creator works. And I think that's probably the direction I want to explore much more in my next save. Because now that I understand the basic island building system better, I already have a completely different idea for what I'd like to do next. I think my second island will probably be a little more urban, still very much a small town, but I would like to try something a little more structured with clear streets, small town houses, more little commercial areas, and a proper town center. Perhaps different neighborhoods with their own personalities. And most importantly, I really want to create more of the architecture and decorative elements myself. I've been watching a lot of island tours and creator videos from other Tomodachi Life players lately, and the things people manage to make are honestly incredible. Some of the islands barely look like they were made using the same tools I'm using, so I definitely have a lot of practicing to do, but that's also one of the things I really like about this game. This is my first island, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's basically where I figured out how everything works, where I learned what kind of spaces I enjoy creating, and I'm actually really happy with how Big Cheese Island turned out. There's still some empty space left as well, so I don't necessarily think this island is finished. I've been thinking about adding 1 or 2 smaller neighborhoods or creating another little themed area somewhere. So if you enjoyed this kind of island tour and you'd like to see more Tomodachi Life Living the Dream on this channel, definitely let me know. I already have a few ideas for future videos, and I'd also love to show you how this island changes if I decide to keep expanding it. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like and subscribe to Lag&Lightning. It really helps the channel and lets me know that you'd like to see more of my builds, island tours, and cozy gaming videos. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time walking around Big Cheese Island with me. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!